Hey, produce people. Welcome to the produce industry show. Today, we're actually on my page. We're not on the produce industry podcast's page. We are streaming on X, Facebook, and YouTube as well. But wanted to start this off, which was something that came to me. One, someone asked me the other day. They're like, "Oh, why in the heck do you have that huge stash?" Right? So I was like, they were like, "What's with the stash?" All right, and what's crazy about it is, as I'm trying to get comfortable here, is every year there's this no shave November. Okay, everyone, and within no shave November, uh, people always ask like, "What is it about?" And so the goal of No Shave November is to grow awareness by embracing our hair, right? Which may be like cancer patients losing it, or getting it to grow wild and free, right? But this concept was to, for men, why don't men shave in November? And it's a movement that aims to promote men's health and wellness. And what's crazy is, really crazy is that a lot of people don't focus on it at all. And when I say a lot of people, I mean males. I mean, males do not focus, or they tend not to show the focus uh, out on their sleeves, right? So I thought to myself, like, this would be a great opportunity to bring the community together. I'm getting ready to go on a men's, or not even men's, just a mental fitness break. Traveling with the Water for All group. We're going to head to the Dominican Republic, and we're going to literally have a few days of just hiking, climbing the mountain, and enjoying ourselves. But like I said, we have to talk about why I say males out there are not taking care of themselves. So November is National Men's Health Awareness Month, and I could tell you, shout out to a friend of mine, Wendy McManus. She's got a great program, right, that gets you really in touch with your mental fitness, your sage part of your brain, and that's what kind of got me going a couple of years ago. I took Wendy's course, and it was funny because as Wendy and I were talking, and not in a negative way, but she was like, "Hey, she's like, you should really go for additional resources, right?" And before, you'd probably say, "Oh, you should go for more help." That's not really help. I mean, we all ask for help in a certain way. Is it okay to ask for help if you don't understand a program on your computer? It's no problem. Ask for help. Is it okay to ask someone at the grocery store like myself, "Hey, can you get that off the top shelf because I'm tall and somebody else is vertically challenged?" That's help. Why, for some reason, do men not focus on asking for help when it comes to their health, and especially their mental health? Shout out Jason Varney. He says, "Sick stash, man." Hey, thanks, Jason. I appreciate you, man. So let's talk about it. November is centered around men's health awareness, and it's a reminder for everyone to prioritize their physical and mental health. And prioritizing your physical and mental health is important to everyone because it directly impacts your overall well-being, productivity, your lifestyle, how you treat your spouse. I mean, understanding the impact of physical health on mental wellness is so crucial. And we're hearing it more and more today that people are taking mental health breaks. Right? It's not even like vacation anymore. It's like, hey, I need some mental health days. Don't shake your head no at this. Like, this is something that is important too, because what you see on the outside of people is sometimes not what's happening on the inside of people. And I'll share a little bit about myself and my story, for you guys to understand that. I'll be a little bit vulnerable for everybody to understand that. But I'm going to give you a few reasons why it is important uh, to prioritize your physical health, and then we'll actually talk about what and why there are reasons to go after your mental health. But if you look at like physical health, okay, physical health is, it boosts your quality of life, right? When you take care of yourself, you are on your way to being healthy and strong, mind and body, right? And then you have the will, the motivation, the energy to live your life to the fullest because you feel that you can, right? And then you get to a point where it's the develop more confidence and self-worth. How great is it, right? When you look in that mirror or when you jump on that scale or when you get that compliment that someone says, "Hey, looking good. You seem like you're doing amazing. I love the positive, the optimism, right?" And that's what you get out of that by developing that confidence and self-worth, by boosting that quality of life. And then you treat yourself well and you respect yourself, right? That's what starts to happen. Well, when we really start doing this, we eat right. And then we are eating right. And what does that do? It prevents diseases. So you have some control over your health and how you spend your time, as well as what you do to prevent diseases and what you put in your body. Heck, as I always talk about fresh produce. So make your health a priority so then you can try your best to avoid the serious health complications. Okay. As you see me, you go out to dinner with me, I'm constantly ordering sides, asparagus, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts. Okay. Those are things that are there, right? That I'm always going to go to. What else does physical health do? Well, it increases your energy. Okay. Listen, everyone, I'm right here. Hello. You will feel better without relying on caffeine. Listen, every morning I grab a cup of coffee and a banana, right? I love having a cup of coffee, but I'm not relying on my coffee to wake up. I like the taste of coffee. I like the taste of espresso, right? It's not an artificial way for me to keep going. It's just one of my things that I like doing in the morning as part of my routine. So take charge of your health. Focus on the future by eating right. Preventative measures will help you all along the way. And I want you to know that. Because why? As males, we don't focus on it enough. And to be real, as males, let's talk about the mental health aspect of it, okay, everyone? Because health is more than just physical. As I've started my jujitsu journey just about 18 months ago, I thought you had to be strong. I really did, and it's not that I'm saying you can be fragile and you could be weak, but what it was is that I had to understand that 90% of that game was mental. 10% was having the ability to say, "Not today, Satan!" Right? Get off me, right? But I realized it was all mental, and how I understood my emotions is how I could move forward within jujitsu, and then even in just talking in regular conversations when it came to mental health. So I've been diagnosed. I've had ADHD my entire life, and for those of you who don't know me, you might not see it. For those of you who know me, you see it. You know it. Trust me. A lot of people, they're like, "Pat, you're all over the board." And I am one of those people. I'll be real. What you see sometimes on the outside is sometimes what I am not feeling on the inside. But I make sure that my health and my wellness matters to me, so I have it under control. So what does mental health do, and why does it even matter, right? Well, it enhances that emotional resilience, right? So it increases emotional resilience and your ability to cope with stress and adversity by prioritizing your mental health. So when certain situations come, instead of derailing from the plan or derailing from the actual mission at hand, you can come up with an educated, right? And I say educated, it's just having your own ideas and being able to overcome adversity and by able to say, "Hey, this situation happened, but instead of acting a fool, instead of getting mad and letting our emotions take control, or if you have a chemical imbalance in your head, take control, then that is a chance that we need to focus on, right? So it will enhance emotional resilience to where you can get through situations in a calm manner and understand when to increase your emotions or not. One of the other things is it increases self esteem and confidence. One thing, when you have a healthy mindset, not even just your body, your mindset, your confidence, it increases it all the time. So, by promoting positive talk, self care, self compassion, love towards others, this can totally lead to improved relationships, work performance, and overall quality of life. One thing I tell everybody is, like, everybody asks me, "How you doing today?" I said, "Living the produce dream." That's the truth. Okay, everyone. I enjoy what I do every day. I do. I get to be a host of a podcast, which is amazing. My dad's been in the industry. My grandmother was in the industry, and I'm just happy to be representing an industry that I know and that I love. And like I said, it's gained very great relationships, and it's the overall quality of life has been amazing. Next, it'll enhance your brain. So think about cognitive function. This will enhance the way you think. It'll improve memory, attention span, problem solving skills. Prioritizing your mental health means that you're going to do what's right to keep everything going on here, right? Then what you put in your body will help a lot of other parts of your body in here, and then the physical aspect of working out. Prioritizing the mental health will reduce the risk of cognitive decline over time as you get older. You notice this. We've got some older generations still working with us today up into their 70s. And you can tell who's been taking care of their body, their mind versus who hasn't. So think about that, how it can enhance your brain functions. The other thing is it goes back to wellness, right? That it lowers the risk of chronic disease. So mental health plays a crucial role in promoting healthy behaviors because if your mind is right, you want to be on a balanced diet. You'll have less stress, right? You'll be able to think about exercising more. When you have stress and anxiety built up, it's trying to get one task done to move to a place where you don't have to do anything. You don't want to do that. You want to not be at risk for chronic diseases or cardiovascular disease or diabetes or obesity. You don't want to get to a point where you're just sitting there on your couch after work. You don't want to do that. Be active. Take a walk. Make sure you play that crucial role as being the change agent in your life. Okay. Next, increase life expectancy. I've seen this so many times. I got to give a huge shout out to two of my baby boomers, which is Dan Avakian, Dan, the produce man, and Juanita Gallio, both in their 60s, but they focus on their mental health. Juanita does a lot of meditation. Dan eats so clean. I don't even know what clean means anymore because he eats so well. And being in their age, you could see, you could see how their attention to problem solving skills are, how they prioritize their relationships, their work performance. You can truly see that they've been taking care of their mind and body their entire life. So it's just amazing on what mental fitness can do for you. And if you take the time, I say it just like that. If you take the time, the only person that's going to enable this change is yourself. I'm not saying that you need to, yeah, oh, I need a mental fitness day because this happened, or I need this. You know, start prioritizing your life, and you'll start to understand, when and where those breaks are needed. I know, like taking this trip to the Dominican Republic, I told Albert Perez, I said, I'm ready for it, man. I said, I need the mental break. I need to shut my phone off for 4 days. I need to be with a community of like-minded people. I need to get on the mountain. The mountain takes so much out of you, but gives so much back. And so as I look to go on this trip, talking about mental fitness and mental health, I'm looking forward to just unplugging. Probably going to cry a couple times. Really just throw some stories out there, and just let it all out there. And I think why don't men take the approach and talk about mental fitness. How I came about this today is, if you do know me and you know my life, my wife is the most amazing person in the world, to me and to our family. And we were talking about our behavioral therapists and what our kids see. And I see a therapist as well. And again, it was one of those things where my wife was like, "How many people in your industry, probably do this?" And I said, "I'm not sure." Shout out to like Tara Murray, who tells me all the time, like, we talk about our families and what we do. And, therapy is a fun thing to do with your family, your spouse, your kids, right? Because you're communicating, right? Everyone, and we talk about that in business all the time is communication. But why don't men focus on mental health? And again, we're saying, males, you're out there and you're like, "Oh, Pat, blah, blah, blah. I talk about it." Okay, well, guess what? There's a large percentage, and I won't give you the percentage, but it's over 50%. Okay, so we'll say that But seeking help is viewed as weakness to a man when it comes to psychiatric help. I thought so too. Right? Difficulty expressing emotions. I had that too. But there's obviously an issue going on if we're dedicating a month to this. Men in particular are commonly seen as self-sufficient, unemotional, and tough. Uh, Not me. I just want to be real with that statement right there. But I do agree with that. If you look at, if I look at my dad or my grandpa, yeah, it's men don't cry. You know, throw some dirt on it, we'll be done with it. But men tend to really ignore the fact that they have issues. And sometimes when males have issues, they go to some things that I used to say, which was, well, that's just me. If you don't like me for who I am, then not my problem. Technically, that's your problem. If you don't like me, that's actually your problem. Wow. We're not even taking a step back to be like, maybe I did something 10 years ago. Maybe I did something a year ago. Maybe it was something I said, right? But you take a step back from that, and men tend to fall into this dangerous, destructive behavior instead of hey, I understand. Well, let's figure out how to make this different or better. I have it all the time. What do you mean? I tell my wife that. I'm like, no. She told me the other day. It's so funny. It's like males see things differently in their eyes versus women, and it's so funny because the other day my wife was telling me her feelings, and I didn't process it because I was driving. We had 3 kids in the car, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. And she's like, huh? What do you mean there's nothing you like? It was like one of those generated responses like you see on your phones. It's like, yay, with 2 thumbs up. And I finally I looked in the rearview mirror. She was sitting in the back with the kids. And I was like, hey, honestly, I was like, I was staring at the red light. Like what I just said was a generated auto response. And then I asked her, I was like, hey, what were you saying again? Repeat that. Right. And those were things that it's almost like it's dismissive at points. Right. And so when males get a chance to talk about their feelings, it's dismissive too. Right. It's one of those things where it's dismissive. So mental health has a stigma in all men and boys, right? That we do not believe that we should seek mental health because why? We're tough. We don't need it. We don't cry. But guess what? It's totally okay. We're all human beings here. Everybody, hey, right? Shay Myers, when you cut an onion, you cry just because the different acidity levels. It happens. We're humans, okay? But let's be real. I would like to encourage all males out there, that there is someone to talk to, whether it's your buddy, whether you're out on the golf course. Ultimately, what we can do to help encourage men to speak out is helping, when needed, we need to encourage it more and more. And I think that's the one person or one thing that we need to tell one person, right? Let one person know, hey, I just want to let you know that you mean something to me today. I want to let you know that you are a big part of my life, and thank you for being that part in my life. Because a lot of times men do not give the compliments to another male when needed, and a lot of times we keep our feelings inside. So encourage that. If you see somebody that might be doing down, reach out to them as well. Send them a note, right? It's so easy to say hello, right? And we had a buddy. I've had a couple friends commit suicide in their life. I've had a friend that's tried to commit suicide, and it's crazy. The fact is that you don't know they are having an issue until the issue is past and they've done something about it. You never know the last time you get to say hello to somebody. Just like as our kids are growing up, I told my sister-in-law the other day, I said, she's like, when does this whole like them getting out of bed and coming to your bedroom at night come over? And I said, it just happens pretty soon. all of a sudden your kid won't come to your bedroom anymore. All of a sudden your 12-year-old won't ask you to make his lunch in the morning. There's going to be a last first time for everything. For everything. And the journey that we're through, we never get to see it because we're so worried about what's happening next, where we're going to be, how we're going to get there, and we don't truly sit back and enjoy the journey, which is life. So on Mental Awareness Month, I can tell you, day after day, month after month, that it's time to start focusing on yourself. It's time to start focusing on others, and building that positive life. I got a couple comments. John Pandel: men don't seek mental health, but do self-medicate alcohol, drugs, and other behaviors. Yeah, John, you're right. I mean, that's one thing. I even said, males go to destructive behavior, and we've all done it. And I think that if I could just be a voice to you today and say, don't be involved in the destructive behavior, get help, right? Because a lot of us don't understand that there's might be a chemical imbalance that you just never really, understood before. And that's what it's about. It's just bringing awareness, everyone. So what's with the stash? The stash is here for mental health month, mental awareness, for males. And I had to call it out. And like I said, my wife said, how many people will want to just hear like, hey, I was thinking about that today, and why aren't more people doing that? And I thought it was important. And everybody's asked me so much, like, what's with the stash, man? Like, what's with the stash? Um, it's for Movember. And, I hope at least I touched one or two of you today, to at least reach out to someone else and tell them that they've impacted you, or you love them for any reason, or you appreciate them, and let them know, right? And as we all know, like, it goes a long way. So I'm heading out, like I said, to the Dominican Republic. I got my Water for All Mangoes That Give Clean Water shirt on. Ross Nelson, Juanita Gallio, Jihoon Kim. They're flying in, I believe, in the next day or so, and we're heading out to the DR on Friday. We're about to put in probably 50 miles of walking and a lot of engagement with the community down in the DR. So, I appreciate everyone. If you stayed on the whole time and listened, I appreciate you. Big shout out to everybody, all the males in the produce and supply chain industry, all the females that support all of the males that don't go after their mental fitness. As a good buddy once told me, behind every great man is a better woman. And I attest to that. So everyone, thank you so much.